Be here with everybody watching, whether through Facebook or YouTube. Just started there yesterday. Seems to be a great success so far. I'm looking forward to continuing to spread the brand, spread the awareness of the show. But first off, Gavin, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Shout out to the Facebook people. First time doing it. You guys killed it. So I'm happy that you guys are now along with us, and we're hoping you guys can continue to come back with us. And for everyone that asked me about when you guys going on Apple Pod and Spotify and all that fun stuff, it's coming, right, Zach? It's coming.
Very
So
soon.
stay tuned.
Hopefully,
Stay tuned.
hopefully next Monday is the goal to be officially launched on there. It takes a few days to get approved, but we're preparing everything now. It should be good to go. Next week, I'm very excited for it. We know that there are people who are either working or unable to get directly on the live stream. So being able to have it in the background playing on podcasts, we understand how important it is. So we're going to continue to move forward, and hopefully we'll have that up pretty soon. So stay tuned for it.
And to go back to your original question, I'm great. I'm doing great. Downpour this morning. That was
It
awful. I
did.
was outside for a little bit trying to put my trash out. Um, and I'm doing great. How was golfing yesterday?
It was fun. First time at the course, very long course, so it's going to be a little while for me to learn it, but I'll have to keep supplying updates as we progress, and we're still going to have that More Than Philly Sports open in a way where Gavin's going to be taking care of my chipping and putting for me, so hopefully I can hit the ball and give him a good position.
If
Otherwise,
you guys, yeah, if you guys are interested in
yeah.
seeing that, if you guys want to see that, we'll do it this weekend. We'll figure out a time. We'll do it. And if anyone wants to come play golf with us, your boy's Tiger Woods in the putt game. So I don't know if you really, I don't know if you really want all that.
We'll just see what happens. It should be exciting. Again, we're trying to do more than be just a talk show. We're really trying to build a network here, building a community. So very excited to do that. But Gavin, other than that, are you ready to get to it today?
Heck yeah. I can't wait. There's a lot of stuff happening in the baseball world. So I'm
Very
ready.
excited indeed. Gavin, baseball is back. So we have a lot to talk about today. It includes the Yankees and Nationals starting off tonight. Dodgers and Giants are at 10 o'clock. Also we talked about yesterday, possible favorites for the World Series. Also got to touch on a little bit of the Houston Astros scandal, making sure that that's not going to go without being forgotten. Talking about the possibility of some of those guys getting hit by pitches and having brawls early in games. In addition to all of that, breaking down the Phillies, breaking down the Blue Jays, they don't have a home right now.
They still don't.
They can't play in Toronto. They were declined of Pittsburgh just this morning. So we'll have to break down there with Gavin some initial thoughts here. Baseball is back.
First of all, before I get into my initial thoughts, I told you about that man Mookie Betts now. I told you. Mookie Betts is not the best player in baseball. He's second best player in baseball. And $380 million to show it. He's worth every penny, every last dime of that. Mookie, my friend, my guy, my brother, whatever I can get to call you. Let's go. That's fantastic. That's a great contract. LA, you guys got yourself a really great and underrated, because not a lot of people consider Mookie Betts the best player of right now, but I do. I do. So back to the original question. Baseball is back. I'm excited. I'm excited to see the first two games tonight. They're going to be really good ones. I think we're potentially looking at two teams that can meet in the World Series, and Yankees and the Dodgers not playing against each other tonight, but they're playing on the same night. Yankees are going against the defending champs, and then LA is going against their division rivals. So Zach, baseball is back. It's going to be a great night. I'm excited to see a lot of things, but I want to get your first initial, Mr. Baseball guy. So Zach, what's the feeling like? I know we were down on baseball a lot, so what's the feeling?
The love of baseball stays no matter how much frustration we've had over the past few months. I still watch Bryce Harper, Blake Snell. I'll watch them play the sport. I mean, they're getting paid a lot of money to be out there, and so they're going to have to go out and earn it. 60 games, it's a sprint. You're playing your division. You're playing your respective division in the opposite conference. I'm excited for it. I really am. I'm really happy to watch the storylines unfold this year for the Phillies, for the Nationals as defending champions, for the Giants under Gabe Kaplan now with new management. Us as Phillies fans are going to be very interested to watch that. Kind of like when Chip Kelly went out to San Fran after being here for a couple of treacherous years. But with all that being said, it's going to be a great opportunity just to watch live sports, relax, watch some ESPN. Maybe we'll do some commentary too. We're looking forward to seeing some additional ways we can mix it up and provide more content to you, the viewers. But, I was watching basketball last night, and I watched baseball the other night. It's just exciting to tune into ESPN, just to tune in and sit down, relax, watch baseball. Again, thank you to the essential workers out there. Thank you to all you. This is for you. I get it. We're excited too. But for the essential workers, for those who love sports as well, this is for you, and we're glad to have this opportunity for you. We're glad that the players are finally, in a way, yeah, they could be risking their health, but I mean, you have risk whenever you do anything, and so given the current situation, it's appreciated from all sides. So I think it's more about appreciation right now, not really "I told you so." As we know, we were pessimistic very much so on the season starting, but I'm excited for it. I'm very happy to see what's going to happen. I look forward to the storylines, and I'm excited to watch sports again.
All my essential workers, when you guys get off, you will have something to watch. Um, we've been, me and Zach, we both been on your side when it came to when Blake Snell and baseball, when they were arguing about money. Well, I said, well, what about the essential workers? What about these guys? What about the guys that don't make as much as you guys do? If they miss a year, if essential workers miss a year, who knows where they will be at the end of that year? Vice versa, if Bryce Harper misses a year, we know where he'll be. He'll be all right. You got the Under Armour deal. You got the money you made last year. Blake Snell, I don't know what you're complaining for. You'll be all right, too. You do Twitch. People can donate to you on Twitch. So you'll be okay. But they have live sports back. Zach, I turned on ESPN for the first time in a while, right? And to hear them talk about something other than what, we heard in the past couple months, it's nice. They talked about the Clippers last night. They talked about how Bol, which we're going to get into later. We talked about how Bol just first ever NBA appearance and just comes out, looks like a star. So it's nice. Sports is back, and I'm honestly, I'll take it a step further. I'm excited for sports for us, Zach. We plan on doing a lot of stuff. Pre-game Phillies, pre-game Eagles, Sixers pregame, watch along, and maybe a Sixers hotline because I know we're going to need it. We're excited to work with you. We're excited to bring all this content to you guys now, and we hope you're ready for it as well.
Couldn't agree with you more, Gavin. So let's get some predictions tonight. Starting off with the Nationals and the Yankees. Who are you taking? You got a projected score?
Is Garrett Cole the opening day pitcher, or is it Tanaka?
I think it's Cole. I don't think Tanaka's ready yet, given the injury he had last week.
So for those who may or may not know, Tanaka did take a go ahead. So Tanaka took a line drive to the face in the inner squad or spring training.
Inner squad, yep.
Inner squad game. So Tanaka was originally going to get the go-ahead start for opening day, but I think Garrett Cole gets it. I think Yankees win 8-5, and Aaron Judge has 2 home runs. And Garrett Cole and Garrett Cole is going to show a little anger, frustration towards the Nationals. I think he sits down 9 batters today.
9. No, it's gonna be a closer game. I think it's gonna be more of a defensive effort for both teams, both the great pitchers going out there. So I say 4-2. I think that the Nationals get off to a hot start. Both runs probably in the first 3 innings. I think they're gonna really slow down after that. I think that the pitching on the Yankee side is gonna be able to overcome all that. And then I think the Yankees go on a little bit of a run towards the end of the game tonight. I'm taking the Yankees winning 4-2.
All right. Well, I mean, we both got the Yankees winning, so we don't want to see Nationals
defending champs. I mean, it sucks to count the defending champs. I'm excited to see if the Nationals can really get out there and prove us wrong and see if they can really outlast the Yankees and still be on top of the baseball world.
Remember, Zach, to start the last year, the Nationals were a dumpster fire. They did not look like the team that they ended up being at the end of the whole thing.
That's what sucks with the 60-game season. You don't get to witness all that. The Nationals would not have been in the position they were if the season was only 60 games last year. The Phillies would have won the division if that was the case. So it's going to be really, really, really different this year.
Well, also, too, Zach, you got to take in counter and in part that there's no Anthony Rendon today either, or for this team anymore. Juan Soto, the pressure was already on him to begin with. Now there's even more pressure on him. So I don't see Washington being as dangerous as they were last year. I think the 3-headed monster in Corbin, Scherzer, and Strasburg, you can't ignore them. I don't know about the bullpen still. The bullpen's a hit or miss. Like I said, the bullpen didn't come on until the end of the year. So I'm running on Washington. I think they win 30 games this year, but not World Series like Cowboys.
All right, well, we'll have to see. So now Giants and Dodgers. It's a tough one for me. I think the offense does start hot for the Giants, but I see the Dodgers outlast them. I see it being a high-scoring game, 8-6, 8-7, but I am taking the Dodgers in this one.
Mookie Betts, ladies and gentlemen. Cody Bellinger Do I need to keep going? Clayton Kershaw, Walker Bueller. You want me to stop? I'll keep going.
Keep going.
Kenley Jansen,
You're
Corey
the one.
Seager. This is Justin Turner. This team is dangerous. And I'm not really too sure about the Giants, even though, I mean, they got Gabe Kapler, so I already know
We'll see how that works.
they're going to lose tonight. But I will say this. The Dodgers are going to win 12-1. And it's going to be an offensive explosion like they always do in the first game. You know the Dodgers are notorious for scoring a whole bunch of runs their first game, to flex their powers and to show what they have. I think Cody Bellinger has 2 home runs. I think Mookie Betts gives them a home run or maybe even two. And I think the rest just goes off the supporting cast around those guys. So, Zach, my question for you is LA really that team to beat this year?
I think it is. They got too much talent, too much experience. They just lost by a razor thin margin to the Nationals last year, and they were unfortunately on the bad end of the whole Astros situation the year before. So, yeah, they're the team to beat. The Yankees are close, but I'm giving it to LA, and obviously I'm still keeping watching up there. I'm still respecting the three-headed monster, but we'll have to see what happens.
No doubt. Like I said, the Astros are I'm gonna save that because I know we're gonna get into the Astros a little bit later. I'm gonna save that. But this is actually going. We're gonna see some matchups that we don't see a lot during the year. Sometimes we don't see it all. We're going to see a lot of Yankees versus Phillies, a lot of Joe Girardi versus Aaron Boone. We're going to see a lot of Mike Trout versus Cody Bellinger and Anthony Rendon when he comes back healthy. You know, Dave Roberts versus Joe Madden. We're going to get to see a lot of Dodgers versus Houston this year, which they don't like each other as it is because of the cheating scandal. And we're going to get to watch, the San Diego Padres go against Texas. It's gonna be good. The matchups this year
You're
is gonna
crazy.
be fantastic. Fantastic. I'm excited to watch.
I'm very excited to watch. And so, Gavin, now we'll get to it. We do this a lot with our guests. We do the least excited and the most exciting storylines of the season. Let's talk about the MLB with it. What's your most and least exciting parts for this season?
My least exciting part about this whole season is how everything led up to this moment. You guys are like crybabies crying about money. All right. Like I said, the essential workers, if they were to cry about money or to ask for money, I could totally see it. Remember, when this whole pandemic started, they were the ones that still worked through, but we didn't know what was going on. Zach, we reviewed the numbers multiple times. We say this, we're not scientists nor doctors nor anything on that caliber, but we're people. We know feelings, and we allow our friend, our third member of the show, is an essential worker. Okay, so when we talk about essential workers, you guys, we come in counter of a lot of them, and we always talk about them, and we always speak for them or with them. And so for me, I'm least excited on how the season played up to. The thing now, for me being most excited, I'm excited about Joe Girardi. I've been excited since we got him. I couldn't wait to see what he's going to do with the team. It was like a little bit of a tease with, play against Baltimore and Washington and then New York. It was teasing. This is the real deal right now, Joe. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. Didi Gregorius at full swing, literally full swing, no pun intended. And also, hopefully, he can fix Reese Hoskins. And the best part about this is we get Andrew McCutchen back. And that's when the downfall started happening when we lost Andrew McCutchen.
That's one of the benefits of this hiatus is that McCutchen was able to recover fully healthy. And so, with that being said, I'm least excited, Gavin. I don't know if you're going to love this one. I'm least excited about how good the Astros are as a team because they're still going to be successful this year. And they're probably going to make a deep playoff run despite the fact that, at least I hope, they're not cheating. They're still a very talented team. So I'm not so excited about that. We'll just see what happens. They could win the World Series this year without cheating. It would be ironic if they do, but they're still going to be a good team. So watch out for them. Most excited, I'd probably have to go with, I want to say the Phillies. You kind of already took that from me because I'm trying to do more than Philly, hence the name of the show. But what am I most excited about? I'm most excited about seeing the Dodgers finally go out there and really give it their all. Even though it's only a 60-game season, it shouldn't matter. The Dodgers have been unlucky, have come up short. Clayton Kershaw as a reliever doesn't work so well for them. But they have too much talent to not be able to win. They're not a bunch of egotistical guys like in Dallas. They're pretty humble, I think. I like a lot of their players. I like their potential. I'm not saying I hope to see them succeed. I never want to see a team in the NL outside of the Phillies succeed. But if I had to choose one I'm most excited about, I'd say that.
I'm also, Zach, I'll take it another step too. I'm also excited to see the Bronx Bombers at full swing. Remember, no Giancarlo Stanton, no Aaron Judge last year for majority of the part. Gary Sanchez and Didi Gregorius carried the team for majority of it, and DJ LeMahieu carries some of the weight as well. You get those guys back. You get a full lineup. You get Garrett Cole. You get Tanaka. You get Paxton. You get all these guys. You got Roldis Chapman, Adam Ottavino on the bench. All right, it doesn't get no better than this. And another team I'm also excited for, Zach. You talked about the Dodgers. You took that from me. I'm also excited to see how the Houston Astros take the adversity. I know there's a lot of people coming for them. A lot of people don't want the Astros once again. I feel
Big
like
target on the back.
I feel like
MLB didn't punish them. Big target.
I feel like Rob Manfred dropped a huge baseball on this whole situation. I feel like if Rob Manfred handled the situation better, where I don't know how you can punish the whole team, but they got enough farm people in the system to bring them up and they be the punishment for the full year. So look, that may seem a little harsh, but I gotta be honest. That's what I feel like is going to happen. They're going to get pitched at a lot. Now, Houston Astros might be the most hit team. And I'm not talking about actually hit. I'm talking about being hit by a baseball in all MLB this year. And I'm okay with that. You cheated. You didn't get punished.
One of the unwritten rules of baseball punishing the players via the hit by pitch. It's going to be fascinating. There's going to be some brawls this year. I can guarantee that. We have one more part here on the MLB before we get on to our next topic, Gavin. It's the Toronto Blue Jays. They were declined of having home games in Toronto. So there are a few options they've had. One is being in Buffalo, one is being at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, and one is to play in your opponent's stadiums, but as the home team. Let's get started with it. Toronto is out. Buffalo is not MLB MLB level. I don't know how deep the infield or the outfield is, but they said that they want to prefer to play in a real, authentic MLB stadium. And just today, the state of Pennsylvania declined their request to play in Pittsburgh. Gavin, let's get some thoughts on it first. And how do you feel about the fact that this team could be traveling all the time?
Well, first off, I don't get how they were able to practice in their home stadium in Canada. I don't get that. I don't understand that at all. So let me get that out the way. Second off, I don't understand why the state of Pennsylvania declined this team from playing. You're already going to let the Phillies and the Pirates play. So why can't you just add another team? It's not like they're all going to be huddled together around some campfire, talk about how they're going to play with each other. They're all going to be there at different times. Let me backtrack now. This team, that's unfair to the team. You don't have a home fan base at all this year. You're going to be traveling at all this year. You don't have a home, and the home that you're going to call home is won't never feel like home because you got to look at the memorabilia of the other team that you're playing in. So, Zach, if I'm the Toronto Blue Jays, and I gotta look at them like 60 games with no home, and the season starts today, is it worth playing? Is it worth playing? I don't have nowhere to play, Zach. It's like playing 2K by yourself, but you want to run threes on the park, and you don't have two other teammates to play. Is it worth running with randoms? No. Why would I do that? They don't know me. I don't know them. It's like going to another stadium. That's not my stuff. I don't want to be in another stadium. I want to be on my own. So, Zach, if I'm the Toronto Blue Jays, there's two options right now. Camden Yards, because the Baltimore Orioles have no fan base, so it wouldn't really matter whatsoever. But you're also playing a division rival. So, Camden Yards or don't play at all. That's where I'm leaning towards.
We'll have to see what happens if they can maybe pull a minor league stadium. I think that might be the best option for them, but I think it is a little bit hypocritical of the Canadian government. Look, I'm not going to lecture you on what you should and shouldn't do in your country, but to make it truthful, you practice in your stadium. You got guys being tested coming in and out. I get it. You don't want to do that. But yeah, I mean, you have Pittsburgh and Philly already playing here, so why can't you have them also be accommodated? And now they don't even know what they're going to do. Yeah, like you said, is it worth it? 60 games, team's not even that good, and now you're kind of struggling to find a home. They might even go down to Tampa with the Rays, but I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be a tough situation. And the season starts today, and just now Toronto's figuring out, oh, hey, you can't – by the way, you can't play in your home stadium. So the past 2 days they've been on run. Like just now, you have to tell us. You couldn't have told us a little while back.
You couldn't have told us when we started our training.
You couldn't have said that when we announced we're going to be playing baseball without fans, daily coronavirus testing. Here's what we're going to do. Blah, blah, blah. And just now the Canadian government's telling you can't play there.
And if you're afraid of the opponent team coming in and perhaps adding to your cases, last time I checked, Zach, center field is a hotel. I'm pretty sure you could probably put players in there. Canadian government, I'm not trying to speak against you guys because I'm not political, but that's, you just,
at least give them time. At least give them time.
I think they
now
can go to Florida.
Now they're scrambling. I'm going to look at when their first game is. It's probably tomorrow.
You got to go to Florida at least. I think you got to go to Florida or you got to go to
where they're going to go. They're supposed to play tomorrow. They play tomorrow in Tampa. They play tomorrow in Tampa. They play in Washington. So their first supposed home game is against the Nationals on the 29th. They have 6 days to figure this out.
So they're playing in Nationals Park then?
They're playing a 3-game series in Washington and then supposed to play 2 games in Toronto. So they'll probably end up staying in Washington. They're going to end up playing in away stadiums until they figure this out. And that's just unfair to the players.
Shame on you, Canadian government. Shame on y'all.
At least give them a heads up. We're not going to say it's wrong. We're not going to say any of that. But you got to.
Because you're entitled. Unfair. They're entitled to do whatever they please. But if you knew, when Rob Manfred said this is what we're doing with no fans, right? And the Canadian government like, well, wait a minute, we don't agree with this. Tell them they were practicing in their home stadium. Tell them
they've been playing there. They've been playing inter-squad scrimmages.
If you would have said no,
other teams.
If you would have said no, they would have stayed in Florida. They figured this out. They would have figured this out. That's why it's hard to have other teams from other countries. Like I know the NHL has a lot of them. I know that's why it's difficult to do that because stuff like this can happen. But yeah.
They're playing the entire NHL in Canada. They have 2 hubs and they're both in Canada. You're telling me you can't have them there too? Or at least give them a heads up? I get international travel, but at least give them a heads up. That's my argument is that they didn't give them a heads up.
Disappointed. I'm disappointed. I feel bad for these guys.
Because now they're 6 days to figure it out, and they're not going to Pittsburgh. I know that much.
I don't know why, and I don't understand why PA declined that either. That doesn't make any sense to me.
No idea if they're doing daily testing. That's what I think, in my opinion, is the key to opening back up. Next, we're going to be talking about the NBA, the first look at some of the games, and my personal thoughts on the Denver Nuggets. I know Gaven disagrees a little bit with how I view the Nuggets, but all that and more right after this. We are now offering a new product on our Teespring. Wear a mask in public. We are now supporting a custom designed mask with our logo on it. Purchase it today, and 10% goes to a foundation of our viewers' choice. It offers a full nose and mouth coverage, single-sided print, includes 2 2-inch elastic ear loops, non-medical grade product, and finally, $1 from every mask sale is donated to a nonprofit to feed children. Enjoy today's episode. Again, we'll be having our face mask next week here, and when we do have an opportunity to do the More Than Philly Sports talk show on the go, we'll be repping them as always. Back to it, Gavin. Breaking down the NBA. It was so great to watch some basketball yesterday. First, it was a little weird, and then it kind of became a little bit normal. We'll break down a few of the games. I don't know if many people dove into it in much detail. The statistics on the internet really aren't that strong. They are not really recording much until the season starts. But Pelicans blew out the Nets. The Clippers looked really good yesterday. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George both looked really good. And then later in the day, there were a few other games Magic played, but it's interesting. The Heat played. The Heat and the Kings played. The Heat looked really good. Tyler Hero's looking really good. Jimmy Butler as well. And then, obviously, the Denver Nuggets, which I'm very excited about. But let's start at the top, Gavin. Initial thoughts on how it looks. You saw the bubble from the cameras. You saw televised. We saw NBA basketball. What are some thoughts? Well,
it looks a little futuristic with all them LED lights and all them screens. So it's look awkward, but okay. I like it. All right, it looks cool. You're gonna miss the fans. The fans is going to be the big part. You're not going to get the same feel as always. When Ben Simmons hit a three and everybody jumped up, you're not going to see that. You're not going to see that. They had the nerve to play the yeet noise when someone missed a free throw in the Washington game. That was funny. So I like it. It's going to get hard to get used to, but I like it. I guess. I'm against not having fans there. It's a little bit and I get a dark feeling. I get dark feeling from the stadium. You know what I mean, Zach? Like it's dark. It's a dark feeling.
No, I agree. And so, just quickly here, we do have some breaking news. The Washington football team will retain its name of the Washington football team. Logo replaced by player number in the gold color scheme that they have. All right. Well, I guess they are going to be working on going somewhere else. But I guess the Eagles will be playing 2 games against the Washington football team this year.
That's the name.
That's fascinating.
That was the name.
Here.
Washington football team.
And I guess at the placeholder, I assume they'll have a name by the season. Again, I'm still voting for the Red Tails. But back to it, Gavin. They've been trying to do their best to simulate. They play a little bit of music when they're coming down the court. They say, like, foul on Joel Embiid, his first, team's third, Nikola Jokic because they don't want to shoot 2. They're still saying all that, doing a lot of that. The actual announcers are announcing from outside the bubble, expecting to see Mark Zumoff and Al Abdenabi announcing from either the Wells Fargo Center or wherever they'll be. Iron Eagle last night was at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. But overall impressions are pretty good. Did you see any of the jerseys yesterday, Gavin, that did have any of the messages on them? Or is that just going to start in the regular? I saw the Black Lives Matter was painted on the court, which is great. It's because it's constantly being a reminder on the court, which is great. We're trying to, as Kyrie Irving had pointed out, making sure that the social justice is still being brought up during the NBA. But for the most part, I feel like I saw everybody's names on their jerseys, their last names.
I think that's going to be for the final product of it. I think when the league actually gets kicked off, I think that's when they're going to import that and put that their message on the back. But no, everything was cool. To hear that Mark Zumoff is going to be commentating the game makes me feel a little bit happy now. You know, a little bit close to home that he's going to be commentating the game. But can I just talk about one of the games, the Brooklyn Nets? My God, that was horrible.
Pelicans look great. Pelicans look so good. They look fresh, and they're not Zion yet.
But Zach, here's the thing. If there's an opportunity for a team just to drop out of this whole thing, it's gotta be Brooklyn, man.
Washington is in no better position.
But Brooklyn literally put on their Instagram just getting our reps in. That's ladies and gentlemen, that's not getting reps in.
Oh, the pain for a Nets fan. At least they have two of the best players in the league. It's tough for them. New York's not having a lot of fun right now, but at least they're a little bit more of an organization that's better than the other team in New York.
Well, first, don't get me started on the Knicks because the Knicks were in a bubble. It was not today.
They're gonna have their own bubble. They're gonna have their own bubble in Chicago.
Yeah, no, they're gonna have their own bubble in New York because they're not even invited to Chicago. That's how bad they are. But anyway, the first live action of the game, the court, everything was perfect. Spot on. Once again, props to Adam Silver for making it feel, not empty in there, not making it feel like a little rec game. So I give it props. I'm a Miss fans and I'm just excited. I'm excited to see how this is gonna play out. There will be a champion at the end of this year. I think so.
Sixers play tomorrow. You get to see Ben Simmons versus John Morant. That's gonna be a fun matchup. I think it's during the day. Phillies play at night, 7:05. It's gonna be an exciting day for sports here in Philly. I'm really excited. Actually, this is awesome.
What time tomorrow? Okay.
I gotta figure it out. Let's look it up.
Post-game show. Maybe we'll do it.
We should. We can do post game and go into the. All right. So let me see when they play each other. I'll have to look up the exhibition schedule, but I think that it's awesome, Gavin, that we're gonna have a live sports in Philadelphia 2 in one day. It's gonna be great.
Oh, and I'm gonna be not so nice. So whoever loses.
Yeah, I really hope that they both win. We can actually feel the pain again of being a Sixers fan.
Oh God, I'm Phillies fan, you mean? But
all right, so we go Friday, 3:30, Philadelphia and Memphis at 3:30 p.m. So they play at 3:30. They should be done around 5:30, 6 o'clock, and then that goes right into the pregame for the Phillies.
If you guys want to see a post-game show tomorrow, let us know.
Comment, yeah, let's get it.
Let us know. And tomorrow will be kind of the pregame. We'll be a little bit early for it, but anyway, back to basketball. Yesterday was perfect. The Kings looked really well. Duncan Robinson shot the ball like a natural-born shooter. He said, "It didn't take me that long to find my shot." That's scary for someone that hasn't picked up the basketball in 4 months and just to be able to hit easily like that. I'm a little scared for Duncan Robinson. I think Duncan Robinson is going to be a big piece to them in the playoffs. I don't think it's going to make a huge difference in the outcome. I think this team is too young. But Duncan Robinson is no slouch, especially when it comes to shooting. The Kings looked really well yesterday, and they didn't have De'Aaron Fox out there. I don't think the Kings will make it, but they're here to play spoiler.
I agree. We'll have to see what happens there. But let's now shift our attention over to the team out in Colorado, the Denver Nuggets. First thing that we'll talk about, we've talked about Nikola Jokic a few times on this show. He does look thinner, but he doesn't look like anyone's moving. He still looks like a stocky center. He did play point guard, actually. He started there yesterday. They're just messing around. But Jokic, he looked like he was good. He didn't look too big. He just recovered from the coronavirus as well. He seems like he's doing well and fine. Gavin, he doesn't look like as skinny as some of those pictures that showed where you say he's been moved around a lot. What are some of your thoughts on your first look at Nikola Jokic yesterday?
Well, I still don't believe. Remember, you played a team that didn't really have a center. You know what I mean? So you didn't play anybody that could move you around. We still got to wait to see him go against like Rudy Gobert, Joel Embiid, Anthony Davis, people that have power that will move you around. But Nikola Jokic, okay, he didn't really look anything different. He wasn't quicker. He wasn't more elusive. He kind of looked the same to me. I think the internet was making the pictures look worse than what it came out to really be. So I'm not sure what Nikola Jokic is. I just think it's still the same player.
And now let's get some of your thoughts on the guy who has taken over the internet the past almost 24 hours, Bol Bol. 7'2", I guess a center, slender frame. One of the comments says the next KD. He's only 2 inches taller than KD if he has a better jump shot. Yeah. 6 blocks, double digits. He had a double-double with 6 blocks. Shot 2 3-pointers. Gavin, first impressions on this rookie.
Who is this 7'2"? When I was watching the game, I said he is 7'2", running down the court, and then he pulled a 3. If you guys are surprised by the 6 blocks, that shouldn't be surprising. You're 7'2". You're the tallest player on the court at the moment in time.
He blocked a few elbow shots, though. They weren't just underneath. He blocked a few elbow shots where he put his hand out and was able to get the block.
Exactly. Well, still, I'm just saying. But like, he should do that. He should do that. That's nothing. That's nothing new. We're expecting this. His dad did the same thing. Okay, you want a cookie? Blocks. That's part of your specialty. That's why they brought you in. I just kind of find it a little funny that he had
top 2 threes too.
He did. He's a good shooter. He's an underrated shooter, I think. I think Bol Bol, I don't think they're going to use him for the playoffs. I think Bol Bol has a little bit of work to still be done. For whoever said he's going to be the next Kevin Durant, that's blasphemous. You should take that back. It won't
stop me, Gavin. I think he has the potential.
No, you should take that back. Whoever said that they should take that back and DM Kevin Durant and apologize because Kevin Durant is better. Even though Kevin Durant is 7 foot with handles and light on his feet and better footwork. The thing that separates Bol Bol from Kevin Durant is maybe his height and probably better shot blocking ability. But for them to say he's better than Kevin Durant, that's blasphemous. Now, second off, I think Bol Bol will be better than Taco Falls because I think Bol Bol has better footwork. He has better offensive ability, and I think
he's also 4 inches shorter.
I just think Bol Bol's discipline is the only thing that kills him sometimes.
Right now, it's gonna be fascinating. So now you have Jamal Murray, who didn't play yesterday. We don't really know what much of the starting lineup's like with Nikola Jokic in there. What's the potential for this Denver Nuggets team? They were the 2 seed last year. They were a Game 7 away, a Damian Lillard away from making it to the conference final against Golden State. Are we overlooking them, or are they in the right spot, respectively?
Nope, they're in the right spot, respectively. There's not enough for this team to rave about, I don't think. They're on the same level as the Philadelphia 76ers. Me and Philly had a great conversation before I hopped on the show. We said they're in the category of they could win it. Are we expecting them to? Not really, but they could. Will we be shocked by it? Yeah, but they could. That's the category I throw them Denver Nuggets in with the Sixers and maybe Boston and all that. So, do I think they're going to go to the finals this year? No. Do I think we're overlooking them? No. Where they are is where they're at and where they should be.
Interesting take, definitely. I still think they're a good team. I think they're better than Houston. I definitely think they're better than the Rockets. I'll probably make them the 3rd best team in the West. Gavin, what do you think? We go LA, and then we get Denver.
Now, you got to take in counter. This is without a healthy Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, too.
I know. It's for every team.
So, I think the best team, I think this year will go You know, LA Clippers to be exact at number one, and LA Lakers at number two. Then you could say the Denver Nuggets, and then go from there. But when the Warriors come back to full healthy, I think the Warriors are the third best team in the West. And then you put the Nuggets in there, maybe in the Rockets too, somewhere, at some point in time. But Zach, I think the whole Nuggets rave is just a little wild right now. We only seen one game. Bobo did one game. He has to prove he could do it consistently. The NBA is an 82 game season. He
You're right.
played one game. So how can we rave about one dude's game? And
It
it
was
was just,
pretty
and it was
impressive.
and remember the team they played against. I think it was the Clippers, right? They played against the Clippers, right?
Yesterday,
Yeah.
they played Washington.
Okay. Well, you're being a depleted Washington team with no John Wall, no Bradley Beal, and no one else, and no help nor future in sight of this bubble. So congratulations, you won a cookie. That's nothing to be raving about. Go Bobo, go do this against one of the LA teams. Do
We'll see
this.
what happens. I'd love to see it during the exhibitions. I'm going to keep watching Denver. But I'm going to give you a rundown, Gavin. I'll tell you some of these teams. Tell me who's better, Denver or them, and why. So let's start off with, I know you said before that you do think this, but let's start with the 1 seed Los Angeles Lakers. Are they better or worse than Denver, and why?
I think they're better than Denver. I think the Los Angeles Lakers are better than Denver because you can't count out LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Uh, they win games by themselves. Respected, they won games by themselves without one another. Anthony Davis in New Orleans, you remember what he did, where he had a should have won MVP that year, could have. And then obviously LeBron James took a depleted Cavaliers team to go lose to the Warriors in the finals. So you put them together, they're not going to lose. And you put them against the Denver Nuggets team, where you look at them like, all right, Jamal Murray, who's kind of coming into his own. They haven't really seen Michael Porter that much, and Nikola Jokic and is not the best in the league. I think Joel Embiid is, but you can't put them better than the Lakers. You just can't. I think they have a better supporting cast than the Lakers, but when it comes to the main stars, you can't do that.
All right, we'll have to see what happens. So let's jump down to the 7 seed. The 7 seed currently belongs to the Dallas Mavericks. Are the Mavericks better or worse than Denver? And 1 or 2 sentences of why.
That's tricky. That's tricky because they both have their own way of play, their own different way of play style. Luca is a great guard. Kristaps is a great power forward. Nikola Jokic is a great center. Jamal Murray is a decent point guard. I think they match evenly.
All right, that's a good one. And so let's get to a couple more teams. I think personally the Rockets are not as good as the Nuggets, but Gavin, what are your thoughts?
I think the Rockets just might be a little bit better than the Nuggets, just a little bit. And I'm not talking about like a landslide. I'm talking about just like a little bit. Zach, James Harden is a regular season MVP. If the NBA Finals was a regular season, James Harden would have like a lot of rings from that, but that's not the case. But the Rockets are a great team. I just think when it comes to the Rockets, it's their style of play. And James Harden holding the ball and then kicking it out to somebody when there's like 2 seconds left. You gotta play team basketball to win games, Zach. Remember, there's no I in team. And Kobe Bryant said there is an M-E in it though. But still, I think the Rockets is a slight better team, and plus I think their coach makes it better. Their defense, maybe not so much, but offensively they're a great team.
All righty, a little bit of Thunder. Thunder and
I think
Nuggets.
they're better than the Thunder. Yes. The Nuggets are better than the Thunder, but the Thunder have better pieces and they're set for the long term.
But the Utah Jazz.
I think
It's a
they're
tough
even.
one.
I think they're even. Great center play and one team has a really great backcourt. I know people say Michael Conley's not that good, but you can't you know discourage Michael Conley due to his injury past. I think Donovan Mitchell is a fantastic guard. Didn't deserve MVP that year though. Ben Simmons definitely did, but I think they're evenly matched.
It's an interesting one. Obviously, the Clippers, we take the Clippers over the Nuggets. So we'll have to see what happens, Gavin. It wouldn't shock me how far we're going to see Denver go. I'm kind of excited to see it happen. But any other final words here on the NBA return so far? Let me get the schedule for today's games, actually. We'll discuss this quickly. Today at 3 p.m., San Antonio and Milwaukee. That's going to be a good one. Portland and Indiana, Dallas and the Lakers, and then Phoenix and Utah tonight. Out of those 4 games, Gavin, what are you looking most forward to seeing tonight?
The nightcap, Dallas and the Lakers, and Phoenix and I forgot the other, and the Jazz, Utah. You said Utah,
Yep.
right? I'm looking forward to those 2 games. Let's see what LeBron got in store. LeBron got a little gray patch in his beard, Zach. So I wonder if he's going to do something with that. That's unrelated, but those are 2 exciting games I'm looking forward to watching. Obviously, the Sixers tomorrow, but all in all, I'm ready for those 2. How about you?
I'm excited for it personally. I want to see Milwaukee. I want to see if San Antonio, how they can work out. I think they're a sleeper team, but they're just not talented enough. But no, I'm excited to see the Lakers, see how they play again. LeBron and AD coming back. But I'm also excited to see Portland, see what Dame Lillard looks like, if he's more motivated, more determined to really come out and show it. I know it's still the exhibition games, but I'm excited to see it. So coming up next, best of the best. We'll be debating the best quarterback in the league. It should be very exciting. We do this every Thursday for those who haven't been here before. Last week we covered linebacker. We agreed on that, but I think today should be an exciting one. Would you like to know how you can support the More Than Philly Sports Talk Show? If so, head down to the comments on our YouTube channel. You will see 2 links there. The first is our Teespring, where you can see a wide variety of apparel products, including our signature product, the More Than Philly Sports Talk Show sweatshirts, offered in a variety of different colors, including gray, navy blue, and more. Finally, we have our Patreon page, where you can become a monthly donation member. 10% of all donations go towards an organization of our viewers' choice. We hope that you enjoyed today's episode, and if you can't donate, that's okay, because you can always share. And as we've mentioned before, we are supporting an organization for the month of July, supporting minority entrepreneurs starting businesses. It's very exciting. We're going to continue learning more on that as we research. We're also still processing our donation for Shriners Hospital, so very exciting. Couple of ways just there to help, and if you have any questions, you can always feel free to ask us. But very exciting stuff. Again, Gavin, our goal, uniting through sports, and we're doing it. We're hoping to continue with this, and we're not going to stop. If you have any suggestions for us of places where we can donate, great organizations, we'll always be open to the conversation and help, because there's 12 months in the year. There's 12 donations we can do a year, and that's very exciting.
And we can always double up too if we need to.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. But let's get to it. Best of the best.
Here we go.
Gavin, I don't know who, honestly, we don't plan this, everybody. For those who don't know, we like to do as much as we can to disagree, to make it unique and take some good points. Think of the GOAT debate, of course. But Gavin, I don't know. Do you want to take the pick of the cream of the crop, or you want me to go first?
You can go first. I defer to you.
All right, I'm going to be going with Russell Wilson. As far as the best of the best, Russell Wilson is undersized, so he has a lot to overcome from that. Has the 27th best O-line in the league, which is bottom 5, bottom 6. He plays in a tough division. His defense isn't that great. His wide receivers are good, but not elite. And I know you can make the argument for Patrick Mahomes. There's no denying Mahomes' talent. But we've never seen Mahomes without Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins, Travis Kelce, even N'Keal Hardman you have there. Great coaching there. Pete Carroll's a good coach. I don't think he's as good as Andy Reid. I think that Patrick Mahomes could potentially become a better quarterback. But based on only that we have right now, and we're not going to speculate in the situation, Russell Wilson's been depleted of his best team before. They went to the playoffs in a rebuild year, which was the year before this year. He's only missed the playoffs once. With Patrick Mahomes, again, great player. Should have went to Super Bowl back-to-back years. Arguably probably should have won it back-to-back years. But he also has a ton of more talent surrounding him than Russell Wilson does, including a much better O-line.
No doubt. Russell Wilson has never had an offensive line, nor has he ever had great wide receivers around him. Arguably, his best wide receiver year was when he had Golden Tate, and when he went to the Super Bowl. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. The phone rings again. I called it. When he only had he never really had great wide receivers. Arguably, his big great wide receiver could have been Jimmy Graham, and he was a tight end and didn't really do much when he was up there. So Zach, you make a great case for Russell Wilson. Everybody thinks I'm going to pick Pat Mahomes, and I'm not. I'm going Lamar Jackson, and here's why. The talent around Lamar Jackson when it comes to throwing was not there. You got Willie Snead, you got Marquise Brown, and some others. All he really threw to last year was Mark Andrews and his tight ends, and here and there Marquise Brown. For him to go 14-2, you can make the case, and the defense was great. But for him to go 14-2, and you knew he was running the ball with him and Mark Ingram. It was just him and Mark Ingram and no one else. That was fantastic. He made people miss the open field, and when he passed the ball, he wasn't the worst passer. He actually was a really good passer last year. People say he should have been a wide receiver running back in the league. He uses that for determination for what he did. And he came out here and he destroyed the league and he reinvented the league. Some people think that Lamar Jackson is the next Michael Vick. And I agree with them. Michael Vick will always go down as probably one of the greatest mobile quarterbacks of all time. The only thing that Michael Vick lacked was reading defenses. Reading defenses.
I agree. No, I agree
Michael,
definitely.
Michael. And another thing for me too is this. Zach, we talk about Patrick Mahomes. You made a great point. Tyreek Hill, Nicole Hardman, Travis Kelce. Let's see as Sammy Watkins. There was not one game where Pat Mahomes did not have none of those guys. Lamar Jackson didn't have Marquise Brown for the full year. Lamar Jackson also did not have Mark Ingram for a little bit too because Mark Ingram got hurt at the end of the season. Missed.
Their weapons in Baltimore are not. The weapons in Baltimore are not good.
No, but the offensive line is great in Baltimore. So
offensive line's great, quarterback's great, and that's what makes a really good team, especially when you can run.
So, and then you got to think about John Harbaugh. You know, you say Andy Reid is a great coach. I can contest it with John Harbaugh being a great coach too. He looked at him. You got Zach, and I'm not nothing against Andy Reid whatsoever. Let me get that out of the way. But Zach, you judge Lamar Jackson. You go, wait a minute. This does not fit. What we have here right now is not him. So what they do, they break it down. They knock down all the walls. They're like, all right, we're reinventing this offense. They reinvented it to the point where Lamar Jackson is comfortable in it. Lamar Jackson, the way how they build this offense is for him. It's a running offense. They run the ball more than they pass the ball. When they pass the ball, it's nothing deeper than 15 yards max. I know in Miami had a horrible secondary, and Lamar lifted the secondary up. But Zach,
Eagles couldn't beat that secondary.
Eagles couldn't. But Zach, I will say this, Zach. Lamar Jackson is probably the best quarterback when it comes to not having the most amount of talent around him. I think him and Russell Wilson are neck and neck when it comes to that. Maybe Russell Wilson a little bit more because Russell's been in the league and has been doing it for a long time. But it's not that far of a race.
I agree, and like you said, the offensive explosion. I could always argue that the Ravens have a good defense, but their offense really did thrust them forward in a lot of games. They still put up a substantial amount of points. But let me ask you this, Gavin: as far as the best of the best quarterback, he has to have the best arm too. Are you worried, or maybe not the best arm, but perhaps it all works together? And so he can run. He can do things that quarterbacks aren't really supposed to do, which may be one of your arguments because he can actually do more than just be a quarterback. Or are you concerned about his throwing at all?
I'm not, because when you have a quarterback that can run the ball as effectively as he does, they're focused on you running. So what I do, that opens up the pass game. Zach, that's the old written rule. You run the ball effectively, the pass, and then when they finally run commit, what do? You hit him in the pass. So I think Lamar Jackson's only going to get better. I said it countless times. They need a number one wide receiver. The reason why I throws to Mark Andrews so much, he looks like the Carson Wentz to Zach Ertz. He looks like a marriage saint.
No one else.
Exactly. There's no one else consistently to throw to except for Mark Andrews. So I think if they get another tight end, another a true number one wide receiver, I think the pass game gets better. But remember, Lamar Jackson's only going to get better. This is his third year in the league right now, Zach. And remember, he took the Ravens to the playoffs, gets replaced by Joe Flacco in the playoffs. Next year, they said, Lamar, this is your team. He comes out 14-2. Arguably, this is the best team in the league this year. And if you want to change the narrative, Zach, you want to say the best of the best, best of the best with talent around them, you can arguably say, well, that goes to Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes has a lot of talent around him. We've never seen Pat Mahomes truly down. And what I mean by truly down, I'm not talking about injured. I'm talking about when he has no one around him.
There's no denying his talent, and I'm pretty confident he can do that. But what if he doesn't? I mean, he can. It's probably easy to throw the ball on the side when you're able to have a guy like Tyreek Hill who's always be able to get open. What's going to happen when he doesn't have that? And it's not a shot at Mahomes at all. I think Mahomes, if anyone to get paid as much money as he did, it would be Mahomes. But definitely have a point there. So let me ask you this, Gavin: top 5 quarterbacks in order. Can you put it together?
Should I go from 1 to 5 or 5 to 1?
Go 1 to 5, probably easier.
Okay. Personal opinion or what I actually think?
What you actually think.
Oh, God. So everybody puts Pat Mahomes at the top of the list, but you got to take into account, the talent he has around him. So I'm going off of, not the best of talent around them, but that made it work. I think Russell Wilson number one. Obviously, just the fact he's staying. Plus, he lost his running back. You bring two guys in at the end of the season who haven't played all year. Lamar Jackson number two. I think you gotta go Pat Mahomes number three because you can't discredit Pat Mahomes. I think, and it pains me to say it, I think Drew Brees number four for reasons I don't need to state them, and I think number five is Aaron Rodgers. Now, if you want to go off people that did not have enough talent around them at all this year, or that lacked talent, or that lacked help, or that did well enough to get into the playoffs but lacked help, I would go, Lamar Jackson, or same thing, Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson. I'll put Carson Wentz up there because Carson Wentz didn't have anybody around him, as we all know. And then I would put Aaron Rodgers, and I would put Deshaun Watson in there, and then Josh Allen.
Deshaun Watson, he had DeAndre Hopkins this year.
But who else did he have after that?
Will Fuller.
But
they have Darren Fells.
So when I think about lack talent, I'm thinking
the O-line.
O-line. I'm thinking O-line. And so I'll put Aaron Rodgers. I'll put Josh Allen.
Devontae Adams. I don't get it. These guys have true number one.
Devontae Adams missed games.
Doesn't have a true number one, and Lamar Jackson doesn't have a true number one. Russell Wilson.
So rewrite my list then. Where do you think?
I'll rewrite. So I'll give you two of my lists. I'll give you the first one, best quarterbacks in the league, because Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers, Carson Wentz, Drew Brees, number 6. Next, as far as the help is concerned, Lamar Jackson had more help than Carson Wentz, in my opinion, this year. Deshaun Watson, I get your point. Aaron Rodgers, I don't get it all that much because, people are not really giving the respect and the credit to some of the wide receivers they have around Devontae Adams. They had Jimmy Graham this year. They have 2 really good running backs. Now they have a third one they drafted. They also have Geronimo Allison and a few others there. So I'll give you my list as far as not as much help. Number 1, I'll go – I don't know if Russell Wilson could go number 1 given the O-line. I go Russell Wilson number 1. Number 2, I'll go Deshaun Watson because they did win their division in a competitive-ish division. And then I'll go number 3, Carson Wentz, because they only went 9-7, but he still did a pretty good job. Number 4, I guess I go Aaron Rodgers at 4, and then 5. It's hard to tell. I'm trying to think. Ryan Tannehill had a lot of help with Derrick Henry. It's definitely a tough one. Trying to think of teams that went to the playoffs and were able to actually succeed in it. Tom Brady didn't have much help this year, but the defense also was much better. I can't even come up with a number 5, but those are my guys right now I'm thinking of. And so one thing, Gavin, a fun fact here. Did you know that in the past, 3 seasons, Aaron Rodgers has a worse stat line than Carson Wentz for the QB rating?
See, there's a lot of I did not know that. I'm gonna be honest with you. There you go, 100 facts. Already, we're starting off.
Oh boy.
Here's the deal.
We'll do that tomorrow.
Here's the deal. And we'll have our third member with us tomorrow. But here's the deal. There's something going on here on this show right now. And I think, and it is with you. Do you not like Aaron Rodgers?
I think he is the most talented quarterback of this generation and had the potential to be the GOAT, but did not come up big in the playoffs, has leadership and personality problems. He is the most talented quarterback in the NFL before Mahomes got here.
So Zach, let's backtrack. He's went to what? 4 NFC championships, with 1 Super Bowl appearance, right?
Only 4, I think. Maybe 5. Someone this year may have made 5. 2, I think 1 against Arizona. I'm gonna have to count back, but if someone can fact check us on how many NFC championships Aaron Rodgers has been to. Also, his touchdown interception ratio in the playoffs is a lot worse than the regular season.
Well, playoffs is a lot harder to play defense. And when we only have 1 wide receiver to throw to, everybody knows where it's going.
Not true.
Ask old Eli. What happened?
Had Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb, and Devontae Adams. It was an old Jordy Nelson, but he still had him.
Old Jordy Nelson.
This year, the wide receiver core was good.
And a young Devontae Adams. Come on now, Zach.
You have a true number 1. Carson Wentz doesn't even have that.
Well, Carson Wentz is going to get one this year.
Not really. Who's gonna be it? Rager?
No.
If Jefferson was here, I'd say yeah, he has potential. But no, I think number 1. True number ones are guys that
Three.
are route runners.
Three.
Three,
That can't be right.
including this year's, and maybe four, including this year.
Are you including this year, Philly? I thought he played against obviously the one to go to the Super Bowl. That's one. The one
The
he lost
Cardinals.
for Seattle. That's two.
And the Cardinals, the overtime loss.
That wasn't.
That was very divisional. But there was
Atlanta. It was Atlanta versus Atlanta. Remember that year when Atlanta Falcons went to the Super Bowl?
Yeah. And then there was another one. There was the shootout. The Arizona Cardinals. There was a shootout.
But that wasn't NFC championship. That was not NFC championship. That was division round.
You're thinking of the Hail Mary, right? With the Larry Fitzgerald play. That was divisional, but I think there was a Cardinals Packers game that was an NFC championship game. It was like 40. It was like 45-43 or something like that. Let me look it up.
You sure that was? Is that the play?
Game you're thinking of, another Larry Fitzgerald game.
Is that the one where he turned back the clock and ran in for the game-winning touchdown after Jeff Janis caught like that deep Hail Mary play? Because
they lost that one. Jeff Janis, NFC Championship. Yeah, I'm right here. What year was this? That was divisional. It was 2015. Cardinals vs. Packers NFC divisional round. Where's the?
It's Atlanta, Seattle.
Definitely Atlanta, Seattle.
49ers. That's the one we're missing.
So we'll say 4. We'll go 4 for now.
It's Atlanta, right? Atlanta, the one and then the Super Bowl he won 2-1. He lost to Seattle. And then he lost to the 49ers. That's so 4.
It must be 4 including this year. Okay, so he's 1 for 4.
But you got to think about how he lost those games, Zach. The 49ers one wasn't his fault, right? The 49ers won. The 49ers won. None of the 49ers won. The 49ers were better, right? The Seahawks won was because 5.
And then the Cardinals, there must have been a Cardinals one. Unless I don't know.
So Aaron Rodgers has been there in these situations, but he just has mishaps. So that's not his fault.
Right, so he's still a great quarterback, but he hasn't come up big in the big moments.
So, but you gotta think about it, Zach. How is that his fault though? Like in Seattle, the guy couldn't catch the ball.
It's not. That's why he's still a top 5 quarterback in the NFL.
So who's better, Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers? You had to start today. Who would you take?
That's tough. The reason it's tough is because Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers is more of a modern quarterback where he can scramble, where he can extend plays. But Tom Brady's got the legacy. So that's what are the circumstances?
One game before the Super Bowl, we need to go. Who you taking? Tom Brady of last year or Aaron Rodgers of last year?
Of last year. I'll have to go with Aaron Rodgers because he had more success.
So if you're starting, let's reboot. We're starting a franchise. We already know what the success both these guys had. So who you taking?
That's so tough because Rodgers is more talented. Aaron Rodgers is more physically talented, but Tom Brady is more mentally prepared to carry a team.
Well,
that's
also
because does this go back to the beginning of their career before they've been coached?
Sure.
Aaron Rodgers.
Well, also too, Zach, you gotta remember, Aaron Rodgers has the most wins in the franchise. Well, not most wins, but like the best winning record in Packers franchise history with 15-1, and then what he just did this past year. The NFC was so good this year that their 13-2 or whatever they went this year got underlooked because of the success of the 2 other teams.
We're 8-1 in one possession games that can flip real quick next year.
But Zach, remember, did they win? Did they win those one possession games?
They did, but we'll talk about it this year when the script.
But that's 8-1. That's 8-1. I have an 8. If 9 games.
What's 2 though?
What?
The Eagles.
Well, remember in that Eagles game we ran the ball effectively. Doug Peterson.
There we go. Yeah, the Packers defense definitely is strong. I'm pretty sure they've 33. I'm pretty sure they averaged 33 points in the playoffs given up in the defense. So definitely not on Rodgers, but his leadership is still a little bit of a problem for me. So we'll have to continue that discussion, Gavin. But I still put him number 4. I still would have put him above Carson Wentz and behind Lamar Jackson. But we'll have to see how that continues. Other than that, everybody, thanks for joining us today. We'll continue. Yeah, go ahead, Gavin.
Tomorrow, the third member of the show will be actually here with us for the second time. He's been on the show once, but he'll be here tomorrow. We're talking NBA restart. We're talking Sixers. And we're going to talk a little bit GOAT debate and something really new that's going to spark a lot of arguing. So, Zach, I hope you're ready.
It's going to be fun. I'm excited for it. And again, the final one, they did play the Bears in an NFC Championship game. That was the one that sent them to the Super Bowl, or the Bears to the Super Bowl. Yeah, them, the Bears. That was the one that they won against the Bears. So
it's
all
4.
fascinating and more. So 4. Been the 4, has won one of them and won a Super Bowl with it. Thanks, everybody, for being on the show today. It was very exciting. We had a great day. And we'll see you. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't. In addition, hit that bell icon and set it to all to get reminded